Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tronage, and today we're going to be talking about drone drop for the month of September 2018. I really want to know what's inside this one. It's got a good rattle to it, so I'm excited. Stick around. Alright guys, listen, we're going to be doing a little bit of an unboxing here, but if you're new to the channel, you know, stick around, hang out, but maybe you want to subscribe. It helps me out and it makes finding my videos a little easier to find, and I hope I have some content that you'll find useful. So it's just a little couple clicks down below, down to that subscribe button, get it over, get it done with, we're good to go. Now, let's get on with an unboxing, because I know that's why we're primarily here for. What we do, we normally bring you in close. We do a little unboxing action. I always do my unboxings live. I don't unbox it, look at it, and then talk about it later. I want you guys to get my genuine first impressions. And then we do a little bit of a cost analysis. Is it really worth it for how much you paid for the box versus the value of the items in the box? So we kind of break it down a little bit for you. So let's get on in here. Come on. All right, so we got our drone drop box, got my X-Acto blade. Let's dig in. Now, the first thing I'm noticing is this seal. Now, if you go back and look at my earlier videos, first these boxes had like a custom sticker that sealed it. Then they switched to a round circle of clear tape. Now it's just this little raggedy little piece of packing tape that they stuck on here. So I don't know why getting a little chintzy on the ceiling, but this is what we got. So just pointing that out to you because I was a little picky about the cutting the seals earlier. Now this is just a little piece of packing tape, and they really skimped on it too. It's like about an inch long. Anyhow, enough about the tape. Let's cut this thing open, see what's inside. All right, our usual pre-open, and then a little flip around, and here it comes. All right, let's see what we got here. So let's start off with the sticker sheet. That is really cool, liking it. And these stickers are like a glossy sticker. I think the other ones were matte, I don't know. But anyway, it's cool stickers. Next up, we got something heavy here by Team Black Sheep. Battery grip pads. So we have the Team Black Sheep battery grip pads. I'm not sure. Let's take a peek at those. There we go. Now we're in. Oh, okay. So basically these are kind of like the, they're just grip pads, really. They're kind of gushy and sticky. Let's see. They're a little gushy, pretty sticky because they got sticky on both sides. So we'll have to try those out, but I am a fan of these, so we'll talk about them in a little bit. What's interesting is one of them has a different color to it, and I don't know if you can see it, but this middle one looks blue, and these two look black. And I'm sure the camera's not picking that up, but maybe if I give just the right amount of glare, so I don't know. There's any difference between those, but anyway, let's move on. All right, so we got a spring flight controller all-in-one with the IMU-F coprocessor on board. Basically, it looks like an F4. It's got telemetry, it's got smart audio. It's a 6S board, but that's pretty cool. It's actually a nice flight controller. It's hard to see in this dark packaging, but it's got a nice look to it. And it looks like, yeah, it has gummies in it too, so it'll be like a soft mounted flight controller. I'm a big fan of that. All right, oh look, this is familiar. Maybe this is now the running thing. Last month we got the 1.5, this month we got a 2.5. Maybe the month after this we'll get the 2.0, and then the month after that we'll get the 3.0. And then we'll have the full set of 4. Maybe that's the what's going on here. We got one of these in the August box. So it's 2.5 millimeter and Team Black Sheep. Very cool. We have some Team Black Sheep solder, which is great. You can, if you have a portable soldering iron, you can throw this in your gear bag and take it along with you. It's a 6370, tin to lead, 18% flux, 1 millimeter diameter. Net weight is 15 grams. So yeah, there's not much solder here, but it's good for on the go, I think. Or if you don't have any solder, you have it at home. We have a FX battery strap. What's nice about this is this isn't just a generic battery strap that just has a silk screen onto it. You can see that this was actually produced with the FX logo on it because it's the whole strap. Like the material that the strap was made out of was originally printed with the words ethics on it and then created into a battery strap. So it's not just a blank battery strap that was silk screened, but this was actually a produced battery strap. So I think that's pretty cool. That being said, you know, I've talked about battery straps a bunch, and after you got a couple of them, you really don't need more because they're not really consumable. But hey, why not? Oh yeah. And we got some Dial Cyclone props, 5051s. These are the ones I use. Little kind of like an orange, translucent, transparent type color. Pretty sweet. We got 3 packs of those. Yes, we do. 3 packs of Dial Cyclone props. And we got like some stickers here, it looks like. We got the fly, yeah, some basic. These are just some Helio stickers, which is the brand that the this is, the flight controller. Couple little stickers, the sticker sheet, 3 packs of props, 2.5 millimeter driver, some solder, FX battery strap, F4 flight controller, some battery pad grips. All right, let's run the numbers, see what's in this box, see if it's worth it. All right, the numbers are in, got it all figured out, and I'm pretty darn excited about this box. Here we go. So, first off, we'll go line by line. Let me actually, before we get started, if you're new to the channel, let me explain a couple of my colorings. Yellow on a box just basically means it's the same price in the China column and the retail column. Basically meaning that I couldn't find it for a cheaper price or anything really comparable in that case. So I just flag it as yellow, meaning it's the same price in both columns, so there's no real discount to be had in China. This is also the first time we're flagging something in orange. Orange is gonna be one of those, I couldn't really find a price, so I'm taking my best guess. And we'll explain to that when we get to that line item. But let's go down the line. So first we have the Dial Cyclone props, and these are one of my 2 go-to props. I use the Dial Cyclones and I use the HQ props. I find the Dial Cyclone to be more of an aggressive, like if I have a really, you know, powerful quad that I would like a really oomphy one, I'll throw the Cyclones on there. If I have one that's a little bit, you know, not so aggressive, maybe the motors are a little bit weaker or whatever I'm using on it, then I'll use the HQ props. But that's sort of like my back and forth between those 2. And so I've been getting a lot of HQ props lately, so getting some Dial Cyclones, it'll help me out my inventory because I was actually running pretty low on my Dial Cyclones. So this is awesome to get. So next up we got the flight controller by Helio. Now, I wasn't very familiar with this flight controller, but after doing just a little preliminary quick research on it, it seems pretty darn good. First of all, value-wise, the price, top notch. You know, this is a pretty high ticket item to be in this box. Second of all, it seems to have both an F3 and an F4 processor on board. I don't quite get that, but okay, cool. You know, like, I'm kind of guessing that the F3 processor handles what the gyro is doing, so it frees up the F4 processor, so it doesn't have to worry about the gyro, and it just worries about the PID loop. I don't know, I'm just kind of, after a quick read through, that's kind of how I take it. I can be completely wrong. If you understand more about how this works and what the technology is in this. Comment below, let me know. But it seems pretty cool in any case. The fact that it's got a lot of processing power is the idea behind it. And this is the all-in-one board, which is great because you don't need a PDB or a power distribution board, meaning you still need ESCs. It doesn't have ESCs built into here. However, normally when you're building a quad, you have your power has to go to a power distribution board, which sends it to each of the ESCs, and then the flight controller you hook up your signal wires to, and that tells the ESCs what to do with that power. You don't need that extra layer of a power distribution board with this one. It's built right in. Your ESCs will hook up directly to this board with both their power wires and their motor signal wire. So that's a pretty cool thing. It saves a little bit of space, saves a little bit of weight, and saves a little bit of height in your stack. So overall, I mean, it's got all the features you'd want. It's got telemetry, it's got smart audio. But if you understand this whole F3, F4 coprocessor thing, let me know below. I'm actually curious to want to learn a little bit more about this, or if you're familiar with this board in general, let me know. The driver, we covered this last unboxing for the drone drop. You can check out the section over here. Basically, these are awesome to have, really cool, happy to have gotten it. However, on Amazon, I found ones that look identical, same color, same everything, and they're cheaper. So if you're interested in purchasing this particular item, check out that video. It shows you on Amazon. The brand is Newer, Neewer, I believe, and it's the full set of 4 of them for like 11 bucks or something like that. So, but still a cool thing to have. Love it with the handle, the long shaft, really lets you work on a quad, and you feel a little bit more professional than dealing with little Allen keys or something along those lines. So still a welcomed addition, and I am hoping that since they have given us 2 of the 4 in the set, that the next 2 boxes will continue that process and we'll end up having the full set across the span of boxes. That would be really cool, and I really hope if Team Black Sheep, if you're listening, get us the other 2 so we have the full set. Next is this battery grip, and now we go into why there's an orange flag. The orange flag on these is because they're not on the Team Black Sheep website. I can't find these anywhere. And as I was looking at them and playing with them, I said, you know, these look awfully familiar. And it took me a little bit to realize where I thought I saw something almost identical to these, and then I remembered. The UMA grip. Now, I'll put up some close-up photos here, but when you look at the UMA grip and you look at the Team Black Sheep grip, they look the same. They smell the same. They're the same thickness. They both have the same 3M backing material on them. They both have the same clear plastic top layer on them. The only difference between these 2 that I can see or feel, they're the same squishiness, they feel like the same durometer. I mean, I don't have a machine to test it, but just pinching it, they feel like the same squishiness. The only difference is the logo stamped into this one, and this one being plain. So the UMA grip has the logo embossed. The Team Black Sheep one is flat and plain. But other than that, they seem to be identical in every aspect that I can see. So I don't know if this is maybe like a little rip off of this. I don't know if it's like a joint venture and they kind of developed it together, and this one got, you know, the Oh My God's logo put on it. This is just the generic one for Team Black Sheep. I don't know. I don't know what's involved. I don't know what it is. But I will say they seem quite identical. There was no prices for this, so I don't know if it's a new item or an item that they were maybe going to come out and then it became this and they had this laying around in the warehouse, so they gave it to Drone Drop to put in the boxes. I'm just speculating at this point, but here's where the pricing comes from. One piece of UMA grip costs $4.99, okay? So I figured, okay, UMA grip, brand name, $4.99, 1 piece. Team Black Sheep, 3 pieces. So I made the retail price be $4.99 times 3, figuring If that's what this cost, maybe that's what this would cost per. To balance that, I made the China price be the price of just one. So figuring you pay $4.99 for all three of them. And then the average column is obviously the average of the two. So I figure that's my best guess since I have nothing to go by. And I think it's kind of reasonable because I've bought Batteryy grip before. I forget the brand off the top of my head, but it's like a blue color and it's the same kind of concept. It's kind of a really gushy, sticky silicone type stuff. I don't know what's going on as far as if they are the same or if there's any kind of story behind why these both exist and look identical, one with a logo, one without. But that's just my findings and I'm just reporting them to you guys. Next up is the solder, and it's solder. I mean, not much to comment about. I haven't really used it to solder with, but some solders are better than others. But unless you get really picky with your solder, you really won't notice the difference. It really is just how easy it is to work with. The act of soldering in general can be challenging for some people. So it's not really until you do enough soldering that you start to pick up on the differences and the nuances of how different solders react. You know, differences between lead-free solder and leaded solder and such, and different melting points and how readily it flows because of the fluxes in it and how much flux it has in it, and all kinds of factors can weigh into it. When you have a little vial of solder like this is not what you're going to really have on your bench per se, unless you're scrounging for solder. Usually on your bench, you're going to have like the 1 pound big spool like I have on my workbench. This is what you're going to put in your bag to have on the field, so when you're out needing to do an emergency repair solder with your portable iron, you have some solder to work with. And if you're soldering out in the field, I really don't think you care what kind of solder you're using. You just want the thing fixed so you can get back in the air. So for that purpose, I don't really care how good or bad this solder is. It's just cool having a nice little vial of it so that when you're out in the field, you have it to work with. And lastly, the little Ethics battery strap. Pretty much online on the TBS website, you can buy these in a pack of 4. It's 4 or 5, I think it's 4. So I just took whatever the price was on the website and divided by 4, and that's what we get here. That's where the $1.50 comes from. However, you can go on Banggood and you can find, I think it was the RunCam silk screened ones, exact same size. I think it's 16 millimeter by 250 millimeter long. Whatever the size was, I made sure it was the exact same size, and it was like $3.50 for 5 of them. So it came out to like 70 cents per. So, I mean, obviously this is not a RunCam one, this is an Ethics one, and Ethics is, you know, I think a lot cooler to rock on your thing than a RunCam strap would be. But again, it's still a battery strap. It's cool that it is not just a little silkscreen tab, that it actually, you can tell that it was purpose made, meaning they had a whole sheet of this stuff printed with the word Ethics and then cut it all up and made it into battery straps. So that's kind of cool, and I got to respect that. The last couple of boxes we've gone through with Drone Drop have been very, like I've been saying, lackluster on value. Now, that's a fact, because it's just, I look up a price, I write it in my spreadsheet and total it up. And then I look to see what did I get in the box and how much did it cost me. And you can compare those numbers. This box, if we just look at the average column, so that this way we're kind of blending both retail and China prices together and just looking at it as an average cost, for a one-time purchase, you're coming out at $14 a head on product, which is a pretty decent amount. When you look at the subscription price, you're coming out almost $25, which is pretty good. You know, this is sort of like on the caliper of the last quad box. So the retail price on this flight controller alone is $46.55. Call it $47, okay? And then you'd have to probably pay to ship it, but we're not going to talk about that. So we'll just call this item $47. As a subscriber, the cost of this box plus the shipping is $48. So this was $47 to buy it by itself. The whole box plus shipping was $48. It's basically like I bought this myself and everything else in the box was free. And that's the kind of value that I want to get out of a mystery box. I'm not buying a mystery box because I just want the surprise, ooh, what's in the box? Yes, that factors into it. Part of the reason that mystery boxes were first invented was that by not knowing what's in it, you get a better value because you don't get to pick what's in it. That's the whole concept. So you lose the luxury of choice, but gain the luxury of value. And that's the point behind all these mystery boxes for any, whether it's for pets or for jewelry or for clothing. The idea is to try to get value because you don't get to have choice. It looks like maybe Drone Drop's turning around now, and I would say is on par with Quad Box as far as the value goes, because now we're in like the $20 range. And if you look at the retail column as a subscriber, you're now like the $30 range of value on this box of what you got versus what you paid. That's pretty cool. And as far as the quality of the items, I mean, you know me in props. I don't have to go into it. Love them. Dow Cyclones, they're my jam. All right, not familiar with this flight controller, but it seems pretty darn good. So again, if you do know anything about this, let me know in the comments below, because it seems pretty cool and I'd like to learn more about it. The driver, hey, tools are tools, gotta have them. Battery grip, I love this battery grip. I mean, if this is anything like the battery grip that I've been using, where it's that squishy silicone, which it looks exactly like it's just black instead of blue, this is what I use on my builds. So I'm very happy to have a nice pile of it. I just kind of very curious what's going on with the UMA grip and this stuff. Gotta love the solder. It'll get used, guaranteed. You do so much soldering on quads between putting your XT60 connectors on and putting ESCs on and wiring it up and everything. You're always using solder, so this will get eventually used. It's a battery strap. Yay. I feel like this box had a lot of value. It's a strong box, and maybe Drone Drop's now making a turn, and maybe we're listening. Maybe they saw my cost analysis and said, hey, you know what, listen, we've put on a lot of boxes that just didn't have it. Let's step it up a notch and throw a big ticket item in there and revamp this and get things going. I hope, because now I feel like they're on par with Quad Box. So let's see what Quad Box for the month of September, when they come in, let's see what they come back with a retaliation and see how they come in swinging. And we'll do a comparison on that video. All right, so I hope I helped you out. Got some good information here and got some good value and got some good numbers for you. So, as always, my name is Tronage. Fly strong. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, you really should subscribe. I'm always posting new content. If you'd like to help support the channel and get access to giveaways, raffles, and other exclusive benefits, consider joining the Tronage family on the Patreon page. Here's some videos that you might be interested in. This is the latest one that I posted. And this one I think you might just like. Go check them out.